Good morning, my gorgeous and handsome friends. Today we're going to be reading Jessie's Little Foal from the Little Book of Bedtime Stories. I hope you enjoy this sweet book as much as I do. I know you can do it, so let's go! Jessie's Little Foal. When her pony, Candy, had a foal, it took Jessie ages to choose a name. "She's so special," said Jessie when she looked into the stable the day the little foal was born. "I need to think of a really special name." "How about Dasher or Dancer or Prancer?" suggested her brother, just teasing. "They're the names of Santa's reindeer," said Jessie, "so stop being silly." "You wouldn't let me choose the name anyway," shouted her brother, and he ran off, leaving Jessie gazing fondly at the foal. A whole week passed, and still Jessie hadn't come up with a name. It was so difficult. "Come along, sweetheart," Jessie said to the foal as she opened the stable door. Sweetheart, that was the name she was using, just for the time being. The little foal followed Jessie everywhere. When she was busy in the stable yard, the foal stayed close behind her. Sometimes she got in the way, and jobs had to be done again, but Jessie didn't mind at all. "You were only trying to help, sweetheart." Jessie smiled, giving the foal a hug. "I see you've still got your shadow with you," her brother called from across the yard. "Shadow!" cried Jessie, jumping up and down with delight. Shadow is brilliant. I can't think of a better name. So thanks to her brother, from then on the little foal was called Shadow. And one day during that summer, she lived up to her name. One weekend, a horse show was being held in a field near Jessie's home. She was taking along her pony Candy to compete in some of the events. On the morning of the show, Jessie got up earlier than usual. She needed plenty of time to groom her pony so she would look her very best. Jessie fetched her brushes and began by cleaning Candy's coat. Next, she combed her mane and long flowing tail. "Nearly done," she said to Candy. Last of all, she oiled her pony's hooves and gave her coat a final polish with a sheepskin mitt. "Now it's my turn to get ready," said Jessie, and she hurried into the house. All this time, Shadow had been trying to poke her head over the stable door, and when Jessie returned, dressed up for the show, she couldn't resist going into the stable to give the foal a great big hug. "Wish us luck, Shadow," laughed Jessie. Then she saddled up Candy and rode out of the yard and galloped off to the horse show. Before too long, Shadow began to miss Jessie and Candy, and was anxious to see where they had gone. To her surprise, when she tried to poke her head over the stable door, it swung wide open. Jessie must have been in a hurry and didn't close it properly. Out trotted the curious little foal across the yard, past the rest of the stables, and into the garden. Now Shadow had never been in a garden before and couldn't figure out what it was for, so she rolled up and down the lawn and raced in and out of the flower beds. Still looking for Jessie and Candy, Shadow managed to squeeze through the hedge and then set off down the lane towards the horse show. Once through the main gate, she could see Jessie and Candy in the show ring, and a judge was presenting Jessie with a large silver cup. A crowd was standing around watching, and they spotted the Shadow entering the ring. They all started to clap. The little foal thought this was great fun, so she tossed her head and bowed and then trotted across the grass daintily. As she reached Jessie and Candy, a voice over the loudspeaker announced, "This is the winner of the prettiest foal in the show competition." "That's you, Shadow. You've won first prize," exclaimed Jessie, taking hold of her foal's head collar. When the show ended, Jessie led Candy and Shadow back home. "This explains why you're all covered in flowers," said Jessie as they walked past the ruined flower beds. But how could Jessie be cross with Shadow for following her and Candy to the show? None of this would have happened if Jessie had closed the stable door properly, and Shadow did win first prize for the prettiest foal in the show, so it all turned out quite well after all. The end. Put down in the comments section your favorite part. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you, and until next time, good night.